Okay, let's unpack this. We have a stack of notes today
Yeah.
that, honestly, I was a little hesitant to even touch at
It's
first.
hesitant. Why?
Well, because the subject matter is A Course in Miracles. And let's be real, for a lot of people, that title alone sets off, alarm bells.
Oh, for sure.
It sounds like something you'd find in a dusty attic next to a crystal ball or, I don't know, something people whisper about in cult documentaries.
Right, right. It's got that reputation.
It's intimidating. It's dense. It uses this very archaic, almost biblical terminology that can be a real barrier to entry.
It absolutely does. It's notoriously difficult to read. I mean, the text itself is written in iambic pentameter in blank verse.
Like Shakespeare.
Exactly like Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Told him. It's not exactly a beach read. It's something that people pick up and, put down about 5 times before they get past the first page.
Exactly. And yet, we have this source material today, a study session led by Ho-Yang Lin, that suggests we have been looking at this book completely wrong. The premise here isn't religion. It isn't even spirituality in the way we usually think about it, with like incense and chanting and all that.
No, it's not. It's approaching it from a totally different angle.
And the way Lin frames it, A Course in Miracles is basically a user manual for a piece of hardware we all own but have no idea how to operate.
Which is?
The human mind.
That is the perfect way to frame it. And that's really the mission for this deep dive today. We are going to attempt to strip away the theology. We are going to ignore the woo-woo vibes, as you put it.
Yeah, let's try.
We are looking at this strictly as a system of psychology, almost a clinical debugging of the human operating system.
Debugging is a great word for it.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the notes, the argument isn't that we are sinners who need saving from some external force.
Yeah, not at all.
It's that we are running buggy software that needs a patch. We're glitched.
Exactly. The central thesis we're unpacking is that the human mind, in its default state, is, well, it's hallucinating.
It's a strong word.
It is, but it's accurate from this perspective. It is running a program of separation and fear that creates a distorted reality. And the miracle, which is a loaded word, I know we have to talk about that word.
A very loaded word.
It is, but the miracle is simply the code patch. It's the mechanism that fixes the glitch and restores the system to its factory settings.
Which all sounds great, but we need to ground this. Because Len doesn't just keep this in the clouds in the abstract.
No, he's very practical.
He connects this mind training directly to things like business leadership, physical health, and even high-performance sports. I mean, you mentioned Formula One racing.
Right, because if this is a manual for the mind, it has to work everywhere the mind goes. If it only works when you're sitting on a cushion in a perfectly silent room, then it's useless, isn't it?
It's a hobby, not a tool.
Exactly. It has to work when you're looking at a bank account balance that's in the red, or when you're dealing with a hostile takeover at work, or a scary health crisis. It has to apply to the messy parts of life.
So let's set the stage for that. If we are going to debug the system, we first need to understand the interface. And the biggest, most obvious interface we have, the thing we think is us, is the body.
Mm-hmm.
And this brings us to section 1 of our breakdown. The body, a tool, not an identity.
And this right here is the first major hurdle for people. It is a huge conceptual leap. Because in the source material, the body is defined as a learning aid.
A learning aid, like a protractor.
Mm-hmm.
Or flashcards. What are we learning?
Think training wheels. That's the best analogy I've heard for it. When you learn to ride a bike, training wheels they're essential, right?
Absolutely. Couldn't do it without them.
They keep you upright. They help you understand balance and motion. But you don't buy a bike for the training wheels. The goal isn't to be the best training wheel rider in the world.
Of course not. The goal is to get them off.
The goal is to learn balance so you can ride freely. The training wheels are a temporary means to an end.
So the body is like the training wheels for the soul or the mind.
Precisely. The source explains that the body, and even the miracles themselves, are temporary utilities. They are tools. Once you reach a state of spiritual wholeness, which the text calls heaven and earth corresponding, the body and the miracle are no longer necessary.
They retire.
They retire when the job is done. The training wheels are put back in the garage.
Okay, so that retiring part,
Yeah.
does that just mean we die? Is that a euphemism?
I think it means the physical form retires because it has served its purpose. The curriculum is complete. So it's not framed as a tragic death. It's framed as a graduation. But here's the crucial part for us right now.
Mm-hmm.
While we are here, strapped into this machinery, using these training wheels, we have a binary choice, a constant moment-to-moment choice.
Okay.
We can use this device to express ruthlessness, which means separation, ego, attack, judgment.
The stuff that makes us feel separate.
Yes. Or we can use it to express beauty, which in this context means connection, love, joining.
So it's basically a communication device, like a smartphone.
A smartphone is a great analogy. It really is. You can use your phone to organize a charity drive or to call your mom. Or you can use it to cyberbully someone.
Or to doom scroll for 3 hours and make yourself miserable.
Exactly. The phone is neutral. The hardware doesn't care. It's just a tool. The intent of the user, the program you choose to run on it, that determines the output.
And the source is saying we are always, always using the body to communicate something. There's no off switch.
There is no off switch. You are broadcasting 24/7. And this gets us into probably the darkest, but I think one of the most fascinating parts of the notes. The error of destruction.
Right. We're talking about suicide or even just extreme self-sabotage, things we do to harm the body.
It is heavy, but the logic here is really rigorous. If you believe I am the body, if that is your core identity, and you are in profound pain, depression, grief, anxiety, then it makes a kind of grim logical sense to destroy the body to stop the pain.
If the hardware's broken, smash it, right?
Right. If I am the phone and the phone is ringing with nonstop bad news, breaking the phone stops the news. Problem solved.
But here's the catch. The whole premise is that you are not the phone.
Exactly. What if you are not the phone? What if you are the caller?
Oh. Yeah. Then breaking the phone doesn't solve anything at all.
It solves nothing. You've just smashed your only means of communication. The source material argues that you cannot unmake yourself. You didn't write the fundamental code for your own soul, so you don't have the admin privileges to delete the file.
You can't drag yourself to the trash bin.
You can't. You can destroy the communication device, the body, but the potential, the consciousness, the caller that remains.
So you're just left there without a phone, in silence.
You're left with the signal, but no way to transmit it. And the tragedy, as Lynn points out, referencing some books on near-death experiences.
Yeah, he mentioned that.
The tragedy is that many people who attempt to check out in that way, they realize the mistake the moment the device drops. There's this sudden clarity, oh wait, I'm still here, I still exist, and I'm actually part of this massive, beautiful whole.
But they just hung up the phone before they could tell it to anyone or experience it through that medium.
They did. They realized their own wholeness only at the exact moment they've lost the tool to express it in this world. The miracle, then, is realizing that now, while you are still holding the phone.
It's realizing you don't have to smash the device. You just have to change the conversation you're having on it.
That's it. That's the whole practice. Change the call you're making.
You know, there's a concept here called the hollow shell paradox that really stuck with me. Because not everyone is actively suicidal, but I think a lot of people try to numb themselves. We check out in smaller ways.
All the time.
We zombie out. We scroll for hours. We binge watch shows. We suppress our creativity. We try to be small so we don't get hurt. We play it safe.
That is the hollow shell. It's the attempt to turn the volume of your life down to zero. The thinking is, if I make myself nothing, I can't be hurt. If I don't create anything, I can't be criticized.
It's a defense mechanism.
A very common one. But the paradox is, you are still broadcasting. You can't not broadcast.
Broadcasting what? Static.
You are broadcasting nothingness. You are using the incredibly powerful transmitter of your life, of your mind, to scream a message of, I am worthless, or I have no value, or nothing matters. That is still a choice. That is still a creation.
You're using the phone to broadcast silence, which is still a message.
You are. You cannot opt out of creating. You are always creating something, even if you're deliberately trying to create a void.
That is wildly empowering and also kind of terrifying. It means I'm on air 24/7, whether I like it or not. There's no break.
You are always live. And so the question the source asks is, since you are broadcasting anyway, why not broadcast something that aligns with who you actually are? Why not broadcast beauty instead of static?
Okay, so we have the hardware, the body is a tool, but software runs in time. And time is the other massive stressor for people. I don't have enough time. It's too late for me. I need 5 years to reach this goal.
The tyranny of the clock.
Exactly. So section 2 of our deep dive is about time, success, and collapsing the timeline.
And this is where the business application from the source material really shines. It's so practical. The source talks about leaders in New Skin, which is a high-pressure, multi-level marketing environment. but this applies to anyone with career or any goal at all.
The default way we view time is linear, right?
Mhm.
The past equals the future. It's a straight line.
It's the spreadsheet view of life. We all do it.
Mhm.
In 2021, I made X amount of money. In 2022, I made Y. Therefore, the trend line clearly says in 2025, I will make Z.
It feels rational, feels safe. It's how every quarterly review in corporate history has ever been run.
And it feels logical. If I earned $50,000 last year, it feels completely unreasonable, maybe even delusional to think I'll earn $500,000 this year. The data doesn't support it.
And the Abers calls this a trap.
A massive trap. It calls it wasting time.
How is planning? How is being realistic wasting time? That seems counterintuitive.
Because you are using the past to validate a limitation in the present. If you look at your past and say, I have always struggled with my weight, or I have always been bad at public speaking, or my business has never grown more than 10% a year,
You're just stating the facts.
you think you are, but what you're actually doing is taking that data and actively programming it into your future. You are literally instructing the simulation of your life to give you more of the same struggle. You're placing an order for more of what you've already had.
You're copy-pasting the bug from last year's code into this year's.
You are copy-pasting the bug. And the basic decision of a miracle-minded person, according to the source, is to stop wasting time on lack. To stop focusing on the evidence of what's missing.
The source gives examples of people who succeed for no reason.
Yeah.
I love that phrase, success for no reason.
It drives logical, linear thinking people absolutely crazy. You see it all the time. Someone in your field whose skills haven't dramatically changed, the market hasn't changed, nothing external has changed, but suddenly their results just explode.
A quantum leap.
A quantum leap. They collapsed the timeline. They went from point A to point Z without trudging through B, C, D, all the way down the alphabet.
How? What did they actually do differently? It can't just be wishful thinking.
They disconnected the future from the past. That's the mechanism. They stopped believing that the past is a predictor. They stopped worshiping the god of last quarter's results.
So they stopped looking in the rearview mirror.
They stopped driving by looking in the rearview mirror. Instead, they aligned with what the notes call the ultimate realm, which is timeless. It's the realm of pure potential, and they focused entirely relentlessly on the result they wanted. They ignored the evidence from their past that said it should take 10 years.
Okay, this is going to sound skeptical, but I have to ask, is that just delusion? Is it just the guy with $5 in his pocket walking around saying, I'm a billionaire, I'm a billionaire?
It walks a very fine line, and that's a great question. It's not about denying the physical reality in front of you. It's not saying, I don't have $5.
Okay.
It's about denying the authority of that physical reality to dictate the future. It's a subtle but profound shift. It's saying, yes, the $5 is currently in my wallet, that is a fact, but that $5 is a result of my past thinking. It's an echo, and I am not my past thinking anymore. I am a new cause right now.
I see. So believing in the past literally creates the future. And if I stop believing in the authority of the past, I can collapse the time it takes to create a new future.
Precisely. That's what it means when the Course says miracles collapse time. They bypass the learning curve of struggle that we think is necessary.
We think we have to suffer for it.
We do. We think we have to go through the whole alphabet. But if you learn the lesson, which at its core is always that you are limitless and connected to Source, you don't need the 10 years of training wheels struggle to prove it. You just take the wheels off and ride.
I really like that. It implies that the struggle isn't a requirement. It's just a habit, a deeply ingrained mental habit.
It's a habit of thought. We think we have to pay our dues. We have this whole cultural story around it. But the Course says the dues are already paid. Your birthright is abundance, is wholeness. You just have to be willing to accept the receipt.
Okay, so why is this so hard? I mean, this sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Just stop believing in the past, collapse time, and achieve your goals. If we can just take the wheels off, why are we all pedaling so hard, miserable, and anxious?
Because of the root cause, the original bug in the software.
Which leads us to the real core of this.
Yeah.
Section 3, the big split, the idea of separation.
The big split is the metaphysical bomb drop of the whole system. The Source argues that the reason we struggle, the reason we feel lack, the reason we need to pay our dues is because of a fundamental error in how we view existence itself.
And this is where the cancer cell analogy comes in.
Yeah, it's a visceral analogy, but it works so well. Imagine a single healthy cell in your body. Let's say it's a liver cell. As long as it knows it's part of the liver and the liver is part of the body, it's fine.
It's content.
It's perfectly content. It gets oxygen. It gets nutrients from the blood. It performs its function. It has no career goals. It has no anxiety about the future. It just is. It trusts the body implicitly to take care of it.
It's connected to its source.
Right. It exists in a state of grace, you could say. But then imagine that cell has a psychotic break, a moment of insanity. It decides, I'm not part of this body. I am a separate, independent entity. My name is Steve the Cell.
Ooh, Steve the Cell. I like it.
And suddenly, Steve has a huge problem, a problem he never had before, because he's on his own now. Steve is now personally responsible for his own oxygen supply. He's responsible for his own defense against invaders. He looks at the cells around him, who used to be his family, his team.
And now they're competitors.
They are competitors for resources. He thinks that other liver cell is taking my glucose.
The scarcity mindset is born.
Instantly. So Steve starts hoarding resources. He starts building walls to protect himself. He starts attacking the cells around him to ensure his own survival. He becomes cancer.
And that's us. That's the human condition according to the Course.
That is the human condition in a nutshell. We are cells in the body of life or God or source or the universe, whatever word you want to use, who have forgotten we are part of the organism. We believe we are separate Steves fighting for survival in a hostile universe.
And because we think we are separate, we suddenly have needs.
Bingo. That's the origin story of need. Before the separation, before Steve the Cell went rogue, he had no needs. A healthy cell doesn't have a need for oxygen. Oxygen is a given condition of its very existence. It's just there.
It's our birthright.
It is. We only have needs because we severed the connection in our own minds. So we run around frantically trying to fill this hole we've created. We try to fill it with money, with romance, with protein shakes, with prestigious job titles.
This totally flips the hierarchy of needs on its head. We're all taught Maslow in school, right? First you need food and shelter, then safety, then love, then self-actualization. It's a pyramid you have to climb.
The Course says that hierarchy is a complete distraction. The source argues that I need money, I need a partner, I need better health, I need to feel safe. They are all just different symptoms of the one primary lack.
Which is the separation from source.
The belief that we are separate. It's like trying to put a Band-Aid on a different finger every day when the real problem is you have a broken leg. The location of the pain might seem to change, but the root cause is the same.
It's like eating food to cure loneliness. It might distract you for a minute, but it doesn't solve the underlying problem.
A perfect analogy. You can pile up all the money in the world, you can have the most beautiful partner, but if you still believe you are Steve the Cell, separate and alone and vulnerable, you will still feel that gnawing lack inside. The fear will just find a new object to attach to.
The notes mention this, the paradox of more, and it uses the example of Formula One racers, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. I've seen Drive to Survive, so I know exactly the dynamic being described.
It's a perfect case study in the psychology of the ego. Max Verstappen is the cancer cell that won. He has all the resources. He dominates. He's at the top. And Lando Norris is arguably the second best driver in the world. Young, rich, famous, incredibly talented. By any external metric, a massive success.
And yet, often seems miserable.
Often, yes, because he's not first. The source points out that even at the absolute pinnacle of human achievement, the feeling of lack doesn't go away, it just gets more refined. Lando doesn't just want to win, his ego needs to beat Max. Why?
Because if I am a separate entity, my value is only relative to yours.
Exactly. If you're winning, I am losing. It's a zero-sum game. My success requires your failure.
Whereas, if we are part of the same body...
If your left hand holds a trophy, does your right hand get jealous?
No. That would be absurd.
Yeah.
The whole body wins.
The whole body wins. The joy is shared. There is no competition. But because we are stuck in this separation sickness, our thinking gets completely inverted. We start seeing the entire world upside down.
And this leads us straight into section 4, the psychology of distortion. The source credits this inverted thinking. And there is a metaphor here that I really need you to break down for you because it's so visual and powerful. The tea stirring.
Ah, yes. This is my favorite image from the entire session.
It really explains why we seem to be addicted to our own drama and suffering.
Go lay it on me.
Imagine you have a clear glass of water or tea. It's peaceful. Now take a spoon and start stirring it violently, really fast.
You get a vortex in the middle, a whirlpool. You create a vacuum, a hole in the center of the water. Now, look at that hole. It has a structure, doesn't it? It has depth. It looks like a thing. It seems real.
Yeah, it's definitely there. I can see it.
But what is maintaining the existence of that hole?
The stirring. My effort with the spoon.
The effort, the agitation, the constant motion. The moment you stop stirring, what happens to the hole?
It collapses. The water just
Yeah.
goes back to being flat and still.
The water returns to its natural state of wholeness. This is the perfect metaphor for the ego and our psychological state. We feel this emptiness inside us, the vacuum, which is the pain of the separation we just talked about, and we are terrified of it. But instead of letting it heal by becoming still, we try to maintain the structure of our lives and our identity by constantly stirring. We worry. We create drama. We pick fights. We obsess over the news. We endlessly analyze our problem.
You're stirring the water to keep the hole open. Why on earth would we do that? It sounds insane.
It does. But we do it because we think the whole is us. We identify with the drama. I am the person who has this problem with their boss. I am the victim of this story. My anxiety is a core part of my personality. If the water settles, if the drama disappears, who am I?
I disappear. Or at least Steve the Cell, my separate self, disappears.
Right. And for the ego, that is the ultimate fear. It's annihilation. So we are, paradoxically, more afraid of peace than we are of pain. Because peace feels like the death of the ego, the death of our story.
So we voluntarily choose the nightmare. We trust the fear because the fear confirms our separate existence.
We trust the nightmare more than the reality of our safety. The source says we literally cherish our own creations, our anxiety, our grievances, our complexities, more than we cherish the Creator's creation, which is simple, uncomplicated peace.
Wow. This leads to the concept of the tyrant. The notes say that by stirring the water, we not only torture ourselves, we become tyrants. How does that work?
We become tyrants to the people we love the most. Think about it. If I have this vacuum inside me, this hole of need, and I can't fill it myself, I turn to my partner, my kids, my friends, and I say, you fill this.
Make me feel okay. Fix my anxiety.
Validate me, love me, behave in exactly the way I want you to behave so that I don't have to feel this anxiety inside me. That is imprisonment. We are holding a metaphorical gun to their heads saying, love me in this specific way or I'll suffer and it will be your fault.
That's not love. That's a hostage situation.
It is a hostage situation, and we all do it in subtle and not so subtle ways.
Exhales.
Yeah.
That is a rough reality check. It means our neediness is actually a form of attack. We're not being vulnerable, we're being aggressive.
It is. It's an attack on their freedom and their peace because we refuse to stop stirring our own water. We are demanding they jump into the vortex with us and stir too.
There was a story in the source material about a meditation teacher that I thought was quite vivid, about visualizing throwing things into a black hole.
Yes, the source recounts a meditation technique where students were asked to visualize a fire or black hole and just mentally throw everything into it. Their childhood memories, their friends, their job, the world, even their own bodies.
It sounds like a radical decluttering exercise for the mind.
It is a form of radical forgiveness or letting go. But the interesting thing is that the source, Ho-Yang Lin, actually critiques the specific philosophy behind that particular group. That group taught a message that was something like, you are fake. If you become real, you disappear.
Which feeds right back into that core fear we just talked about, the fear of, if I stop stirring, I die.
Exactly. It reinforces the ego's greatest fear.
Yep.
And the source material from the study session corrects this misunderstanding. It says, no, you don't disappear. You return to wholeness. You don't lose your creative power. You find it. You realize that you are power.
So it's not about becoming nothing.
It's the opposite. It's about becoming everything. Right now, you are using your infinite creative power to create a very detailed and convincing nightmare, the vortex in the tea. If you stop, you don't become nothing. You become the water again. Peaceful, whole, and powerful.
So if we want to stop stirring, if we want to stop acting like cancer cells and tyrants,
Yeah.
how do we actually do it? Because I can't just think my way out of this, can I? I mean, I feel like I have real problems. My rent is due, my back hurts. These feel very, very real.
And this is the most practical part. This brings us to Section 5, correction, and the critical distinction between horizontal and vertical solutions. This is crucial for anyone listening who feels stuck in a loop.
Okay, horizontal versus vertical. Break it down for me.
A horizontal solution is trying to fix a problem on the level of the problem. It's operating within the dream, within the vortex, for example. I feel unsafe because I have no money. Solution, get more money.
That sounds like a perfectly logical and necessary solution.
It seems logical, doesn't it? It's what the world teaches us. But remember our premise. The lack of money isn't the real cause of the fear. The feeling of separation is the cause. The money is just the screen the fear is projecting onto today.
Okay.
So you work incredibly hard, you get the money. Do you feel safe? maybe for a week, a day, an hour. Then the fear, the stirring, just shifts. Okay, now I have money, but people will want to take it from me. Or now I have money, but my health isn't great. What if I get sick? Or now I have money and health, but my partner seems distant.
It's whack-a-mole. You rack one problem down and another one pops up somewhere else.
It is exactly whack-a-mole. And you can spend your whole life getting really good at whacking moles, feeling exhausted and stressed without ever realizing the real issue. The source of the moles isn't the individual holes they pop out of.
It's the machine under the table that's pushing them up.
Exactly. The machine under the table is your belief in separation. And a horizontal solution is just getting a bigger hammer to play whack-a-mole faster.
So the vertical solution is getting under the table and unplugging the damn machine.
Yes, that's it. A vertical solution means going up to the spiritual level, the level of cause, not effect, and correcting the original error right where it happened, in the mind. You have to correct the belief, I am separate and unsafe.
The source outlines a practical 4-step method for this, and I want to walk through these slowly because this is something listeners can actually try. Step 1 is prayer, but not the kind of Dear Santa prayer we learn as kids.
No, not, Dear God, please give me a Ferrari and make my boss quit. Prayer, in this context, means realignment. It's like tuning an old radio. You're turning the dial to get off the static station of the ego and tune into the clear signal of the source. It's pausing the stirring for 1 second to acknowledge there is a source of peace and I am part of it. It's a reset button for the mind.
Okay, that makes sense. Step 2, forgiveness. Now, A Course in Miracles is famous, or infamous, for completely redefining forgiveness. It's not about being the bigger person and pardoning someone, is it?
No, not at all. Traditional forgiveness is actually very arrogant if you think about it. It says, you did something real and bad to me, but I am so magnanimous and holy that I will let it slide. What does that do? It keeps the bad thing very real, and it keeps you cemented in the role of the victim.
So what is Course forgiveness then?
It's looking at the situation, the rude boss, the empty bank account, the physical pain, and saying, I forgive this entire situation for not being real. It's seeing it as a projection, a dream, a shadow. I see that this is a nightmare I have been projecting.
So you weren't forgiving the person for hurting you.
You are forgiving yourself for projecting a world in which you can be hurt. You are withdrawing your belief in the monster. You look at the monster under the bed and you say, you're just a shadow on the wall. You have no teeth. You forgive it for seeming scary.
That is brain-bending. You're forgiving reality for being fake?
You are. Or, more accurately, for seeming real. It creates this crucial space, this distance between you and the problem. It makes it safe to look at because you realize shadows can't actually beat you.
Okay, that's a powerful tool. Then step 3, vowing, or setting intent.
This is where you reclaim your agency, your power as the creator. After forgiving the illusion, you state your truth. You say, I choose to see peace in this situation instead of conflict, or I choose to see success here, and you do this regardless of the current evidence.
It's the new skin leader looking at a sales report that says 0 and still saying, I am a success.
Precisely. It's overriding the reality with your true intent. You are telling the simulation what to render next, rather than just passively reacting to what it rendered last quarter. You're writing the script instead of just acting it out.
And finally, the hardest one for a lot of people, step 4, surrender or handing over.
This is the humble part. After you set your intent, you have to admit, I actually don't know how to fix this on a horizontal level. My best thinking got me into this mess in the first place.
You give up control.
You give up control of the how. You hand the logistics over. You hold the vision of the vow, but you surrender the mechanics, the step-by-step plan to the source, to a higher intelligence. It's saying, here, you handle the how. You know the fastest way. I'll just focus on holding the vision of peace or success.
It sounds so passive, the letting go and letting God idea. But what you're describing actually requires insane discipline.
It's the hardest thing in the world for a control freak ego.
No.
It takes immense discipline to feel terror rising in your stomach and choose to stop stirring, to literally sit on your hands and say, I will not make a decision out of fear. I will not send that angry email. I will wait for the water to settle and for guidance to come.
Let's look at the logic of why this is supposed to work. Because for the skeptics listening, this still sounds a lot like think happy thoughts and everything will be okay. But Section 6 claims there's a very strict miracle logic at play.
Yes. This is the ultimate logical test the Course presents, and it's a syllogism, a formal logical proof, like in philosophy class.
Okay, Professor, lay it on us.
Premise 1. Perfect love casts out fear. If perfect love is present, fear cannot be. They are mutually exclusive.
Okay, like light and darkness.
Exactly. Premise 2. Only perfect love, which is the Course's word for God or source or reality, is actually real. Everything else is a temporary
A
illusion.
big assumption, but okay, for the sake of the argument.
The logical conclusion, then, is inescapable. Conclusion. Therefore, fear does not exist. It cannot be real.
But it feels so real. My heart is racing when I'm scared. My palms are sweating. You can't tell someone having a panic attack that their fear doesn't exist.
You can't, and you shouldn't. The experience of fear is real. The physiological effects are real, but the source of the fear is not. The source addresses this with what we can call the simulation argument.
Right.
Think of a really, really advanced VR game. You put on the headset, you see a zombie lurching towards you. What happens in your body?
My heart rate spikes. I get an adrenaline rush. I sweat. I might even scream.
The physiological reaction is 100% real,
Ugh.
but is the zombie real?
Yeah, just pixels. It's light and code.
It's code. And in this metaphysical model, who wrote the code for the zombie? You did. You, the mind, build a simulation that the Course says is designed to correct your misfortune, to teach you that you are deathless and safe. But to learn that, you had to build something that looks like death and danger so you could learn to see past it.
So when I'm terrified of losing my job, I'm literally scaring myself with my own CGI.
You are terrified of your own code, your own projection. And the miracle is simply the system's built-in self-repair mechanism. Just as your physical body knows how to heal a cut without you consciously thinking about it, the mind has a natural inclination to heal fear. It wants to return to the logic of love.
We just have to stop interfering. We have to stop picking the scab.
Just stop picking the scab. Stop stirring the water. Stop defending your right to be a victim, which is an addiction for so many of us.
You know, the Source mentions that true wholeness isn't about destroying the ego or burning down the illusory world. We don't have to become monks and go live in a cave.
No, absolutely not. That would be another form of attack, of horizontal fixing. You don't fight the darkness. You don't get into a boxing match with shadows. That just makes them seem more real. You just turn on the light.
And the monster in the corner of the room turns out to be a coat rack.
It's just a coat rack. And once you see it's a coat rack, the fear vanishes instantly. You don't have to attack the coat rack or burn it. You just laugh at your own mistake and go back to sleep.
And there's a promise attached to all of this, which is, it's comforting, actually.
The promise is that the return to wholeness is guaranteed. It's inevitable. The cancer cell isn't punished for its mistake. God doesn't hold grudges. The moment the cell remembers, oh, right, I am part of the body, the immune system stops attacking it, resources flow to it again, and it is reintegrated into the whole.
So the only delay is our stubbornness.
That's the only variable. The only thing keeping us out of a state of peace is our own decision to stay in the driveway, gripping the handlebars with the training wheels still on, insisting that we don't know how to ride.
Wow. Okay, this has been a lot, a real deep dive. We've gone from training wheels to cancer cells to stirring tea to VR zombies. But let's land this plane. For the listener driving to work right now or doing the dishes, why does this matter? What's the so what?
It matters because most of us are living in a constant low-grade state of anxiety. We are always waiting for the other shoe to drop. We are burnt out from playing whack-a-mole. We are chasing more and never, ever finding enough.
And we just accept that. We think that's just how life is. It's the price of admission for being an adult.
Right. We think suffering is noble and inevitable. This material, this whole system, argues that suffering is optional. It is a choice based on a false premise. It suggests that if you are willing to question and change the premise, if you flip the switch in your mind from I am alone and fighting for survival to I am connected and I am safe, the entire external reality will eventually rearrange itself to match.
It's an experiment you can run in the laboratory of your own life.
It is. Try it for one day. Just one day. Operate from the premise that you are completely safe and everything is working out for you. Stop stirring the water for 24 hours. See what happens to the vacuum inside.
And I want to leave the listener with this one final provocative thought from the notes because it really blew my mind when I read it. We talk about using the body to limit ourselves, to play small.
Yes. The idea that we are using something like 99% of our creative mental energy to maintain the walls of our own prison. We are using all our creativity to invent problems, to run catastrophic scenarios, to worry. We are operating at essentially 0% of our true capacity because we are so busy managing our fear.
So the question is, if this state of anxiety and struggle is us at zero, what does 100% look like?
What are we actually capable of in our careers, in our art, in our health, in our relationships if we stop using all our power to build our own nightmares? If we took all that stirring energy and just used it to create beauty instead.
I think we would genuinely surprise ourselves. We probably can't even imagine it.
I think we would look like miracles.
I think you're right. This has been a heavy one, but a really, really good one. Thanks for helping us decode the manual.
It was my pleasure.
And thank you for listening to The Deep Dive. Stop stirring, and we'll see you next time.